Really give you, eh? For the use of the lock-up, eh?
Canada, that was a favour, Terry. That was a
Favour,
favour.
you? Now tell me the one about the three bears. Go on.
Oi, Arthur!
Oh, my God. No,
Leave it out, leave it.
no.
Walk away, son, walk away.
And walk away they do for the last of the present series, but Arthur and Terry will be back with a new series of Minder later in the autumn.
A new Minder novel is available in bookshops and newsagents, price £1.50.
Oh, Mum, I wish our garden was as pretty as this.
I've got to get your father down to Woolworth.
Pardon?
Cuthbert grass trimmer, £16.95. Flymo e-minimo down to £34.99. Woolworth rose trees, 89p each. Cuthbert growing bag, £1.39.
It's going to look lovely in the summer, Dad.
I'm thinking of charging admission.
Alfred?
For better looking gardens, look into Woolworth.
Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you seen? You must have. You know what I mean. The magazine with a free wristband. Just 17 for 45p. Got it?
Mr. Smith acted on an energy efficiency survey done on his factory. Mr. Jones felt it was a waste of money. Mr. Smith, unlike his competitor, now saves 20% on his energy bill. Mr. Jones feels as sick as a parrot. Telephone the energy efficiency office and keep up with the Smiths.
If you think all varnishes are the same, then you've never used Ronseal. Ronseal is the best-selling varnish, and it contains 4 special ingredients that blend into one of the world's toughest resins. Watch this test. Ronseal gives wood a beautiful protection that lasts for years, and you can't knock that. And I'll tell you something else about Ronseal. You can't mark it either, can you, Bob? Ronseal. Don't confuse it with ordinary varnishes.
When your old girl starts talking and she won't give it a rest, if you want my advice, mate, I'd have a pint of curry fed. It's so gold and clear and beautiful that I can hardly wait. Without a doubt, it's one of the things that makes this country great. They ought to have a pint on exhibition in the tape. You can't get nothing like it. A lovely pint of curry's best. Rabbit, 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 yeah, rabbit, rabbit, yeah, yeah, rabbit, rabbit, yeah.
Remember a pint of best. Courage do.
Don't forget, 10:35 tonight, skating, boxing and football feature in our midweek sports special. This is Thames from London. It's 10 o'clock. There now follows a party political broadcast by the Conservative Party.
Today, I want to ask you a straight question. Why do you think some people are so against this government and its policies, and in many cases, so angry?
I protest. This government is destroying our National Health Service.
The fact is that in England alone, since it took office, the Conservative government has increased NHS staff by 3,500 more doctors and dentists, by 46,000 more nurses and midwives, by nearly 2,000 more family doctors, and by 10,000 more radiologists, lab technicians, and other professional staff.
I protest. This government is closing hospitals everywhere you look.
The truth is, there are hospitals that are being closed, either because they're small and inefficient, or because they're old and antiquated. Labour did this too. In the 5 years of its last government, Labour approved the closure of 272 such hospitals. That's almost twice as many as in the 5 years under this Conservative government.
But the hospitals Labour closed are never mentioned. Nor is the reason, which is that both parties accept that some hospitals have to be closed in areas where the population has moved away. So the money can be found to open new, larger, better equipped hospitals in areas where the population has grown.
I protest. I'm being battered by my rates. They've been going up and up.
The real people who've been battering Britain are not the Conservatives, but the high-spending local authorities. For instance, if you're unlucky enough to live in one of the inner London Labour boroughs, for a typical two-bedroom private flat, your rates this coming year could easily be over £700.
Up till now, local authorities who have wanted to could keep increasing their spending by as much as they liked. All they had to do was to keep putting up the rates. For many firms, this has turned rates into the biggest single tax they pay. And high rates often force businesses to close or move.
The government legislation on capping rates means that for the first time, big spending councils will now have a strict limit on how much of your money they can spend. And the biggest spenders of all are the huge metropolitan councils, like the GLC.
I protest. The government is closing down the GLC.
The GLC have been spending ratepayers' money, tens of millions of pounds worth, for their own political purposes.
In one area after another, Labour-controlled authorities have started to organise opposition to the Tories and are using the machinery of the local state to defend ordinary families from the government's attacks.
Defend ordinary families? Just look at what he's been spending ratepayers' money on. £30 million handed out to organisations like these.
The South East London Women for Life on Earth, Babies Against the Bomb, the London Gay Teenage Group, the Gay Bereavement Project, the Abyssinian Society, Lesbian Line.
I protest. This government has lost its way.
Well, why don't we take a look at a different view?
The way the budget's been received shows the government knows exactly where it is going. And it is determined to keep to its policies.